Welcome to this weekly Being Your Own CEO. This success circle is intended especially for solopreneurs. And this morning we're going to chat about using Pinterest for business. So we'll be right back right after this. Well, hi everyone, this is Lowell Ann, your host, and greetings to the panel members. I'm wondering what's new with you all and what's going on in your part of the world. So let's take a few minutes to go through our introductions, make sure everybody gets an opportunity to say where they are and what they do and anything that's exciting to them right now. So I'll get started by saying that in my coaching and consulting work, I help solopreneurs who want more out of their business. Together what we try to do is overcome that procrastination and that sense of overwhelm as we take the business toward that the fruition of that business mastery plan and taking it to a joyful reality. So that's my intro. Let's see, David, would you like to begin since you're there and you're all established? I know Fred may be just messing around with his piece and.
Well, yes, I will. My name is Dave Flannery. I'm with Affordable Websites for Small Businesses and United Country Sauk Valley Realty, Team Flannery. I run a web-based business and for local businesses and help them out. Also sell real estate on the side with my wife.
Well, it used to be the other way around. You did web businesses on the side, so now
Yep.
that's interesting.
We're trying to convert to web business and leave the real estate behind, um,
Mhm.
as it's uh, it's a lot of stress and a lot of work and a lot of off-hour work that we have to do because people get done with their day and they want to go look at real estate. Well, that's 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening or Saturday or Sunday. So that means I have to work that time when normally I would be off. So
Mhm.
um, that's why. And then there's other things that play into this. But so we're looking to move into dropping the real estate hopefully in a
Mm.
year or two. I'm also here to monitor the chat, and we have two people that have joined us. Paul Murray, he says good morning from around the corner, and
Yes.
Mark Barris,
Good morning,
uh,
Paul and Mark. Welcome here.
and he says hello, everyone.
Mm. Right on. Thank you for that, David.
You're welcome.
Mm. So, Javita.
Namaste, all of you. I'm Shubhangi from India. I'm a Reiki master teacher and I'm also a yoga teacher. And now Wealthy Affiliate opens its starter membership to India. So I'm really excited about that. And I hope I will get some referrals.
Ah. So, what do you mean? It wasn't open in India before?
No, it was not free.
Oh, the wealthy the test.
W
Oh,
starter membership was not open in India.
oh, I didn't know that. Hmm.
Yeah. So we have to just pay and then only we
Mm-hmm.
can get WA. But
Uh-huh.
now from the last month it's free for India also. So now I'm really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that so I just so other people understand, Wealthy Affiliate has a way that you can go in and try everything for free before deciding that you want to become a premium member. So that's a major breakthrough for you. Yeah, that's perfect. Right on. Cool. So Fred, how are you doing this morning? You're still in You're still in Langford?
Yeah, I'm still in Langford with Rupert, the interesting little dog that is excited about a few things, mainly food and walking. It's always, when are we going walking? Where's my food? Then next week on Tuesday, I'll probably still be here, but I'm moving, but still in Langford.
Mm-hmm.
Another dog by the name of Dodger that I'll be looking. And funny enough, those people are going to South Africa, which is interesting.
Because you've lived there, haven't you?
I've lived there, and they've never been there, so it's interesting to the fact that they're going on a visit. Anyway, I'm Fred Jones. I am in Langford, which is near Victoria. I won't do a J on you.
You can do it.
Well, it is sunny, but it's not very warm yet.
It is sunny downtown too.
Yeah. It's nice to see the sun. It's been relatively cold in this area, or way below the average. I mean, cold, relatively cold. You know, compared to the rest of Canada, it's warm. But, and I promote online youth group sessions for young people. And I work with some face-to-face groups as well, to help them improve their communication skills, their leadership skills. So when they become adults in this very changing world, they will be able to become leaders that our world needs. So, and it's very exciting. I really enjoy working with the young people. Wonderful. I have lots of friends who call me Fred, and sometimes they're 8 years old.
That's cool.
It is cool. I really enjoy it. It's wonderful. In fact, last Friday, a group of them on the Friday evening decided they're going to give speeches. They haven't been given many speeches, so they did an exercise. Last Friday, they had 13 out of 15 gave speeches, one after another. Unbelievable, some very remarkable speeches. And then they had brought food, so then they had a potluck that they had brought. That was wonderful to see. It was all organized by them. It was just great. I just sat there and enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, I'm sure. Right. Well, the next generations. I mean, we have to support them as they move forward into their world, into this world. So
Yeah, well, they experience things that no other generation has ever experienced.
absolutely.
And they have a lot of pressure on them, and a lot of anxiety and depression is in the young people because of it. So yeah, they need to learn how to work with each other and communicate and help each other. So that's what it's all about.
Well, they couldn't have a better person to facilitate that, Fred.
Hey, Fred. Mark
Yes.
says that's great. You work with young people. Public speaking and confidence in group meetings is so important.
Yeah, it's important for adults as well, but for young people, the sooner you learn it, the better for you. Helps you cope with life and all the challenges and curveballs it sends to you.
Yeah. Well, now let me see what else before we start our topic this morning. I have a little bit of news. After 8 straight hours of working on my beingyourownCEO.com website, I've changed the theme. I uploaded it to Site Rubix in WA, did all the changes, and then loaded it back to where it belongs. So that's been something that I've been working on the side of my desk, and I finally decided I've got to get this thing done. So it's done. So not that I won't be posting more things, but the whole it's quite a process to change the theme on a website. So I must say I learned a lot through that process. So
You have changed.
pardon me?
You have changed the color. You have changed the color pattern also on
Yes.
your.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I'm using a theme called Generate Press. I think you know about that. I think Jay has recommended it. And of course, I was really enthusiastic about giving it a try because it's designed and built by a local company here. So yeah, so it was, from that perspective, it was kind of neat as well. But it is a really nice theme that, it's really responsive. It does all the things that one would want it to do. It's really quite lovely. Anyway, that's my news. So as I was trying to decide what on earth are we going to talk about this week, and sometimes when a question is on your mind, when you go to sleep, you wake up with the answer. That's exactly what happened to me. I woke up and I said, you know what? We've never talked about Pinterest. So I thought, well, let's do that. So I did do a little bit of research, and I have to say that when Pinterest came online, and I don't remember what year it was. It was several years ago. I was curious about it, and I did set up an account and started playing with it. And I was just mainly playing, not from a business perspective, but playing with it from a perspective of things that I enjoy or things that I'm interested in and so forth. So I created one board that was all about photography, because I like playing with photography when I'm out on my walks and so forth. And so I had another one that was all about avocados. and there's another one where I share pictures of old style traditional architecture here in Victoria. and there's some beautiful old homes that have been updated and refurbished and so forth. And so I have a board that shares some of those things, and I'm just trying to think what else. I think I did create something around employment for seniors and a few other things. So I was thinking in terms of business later on, but initially it was just, I was just playing with it. And so I guess I've gone in there a few times periodically and thought, oh, I must do something. And but I haven't really made great use of it, that's for sure. So I did a bit of research, and here's what I found out. And the research is recent. So they're saying that there are 100 million users on Pinterest, which I thought was really interesting. And of course, you can't post anything in there unless there is an associated image. And here's the other piece that seemed to be kind of interesting. It said that it's very, very popular with the millennials, and very popular with women ages 25 to 54, although it did say that about 40% of people on Pinterest are men. So it's not strictly for women. There are lots of men on there as well. So I've got a few other things to say, but I'm hearing somebody just came into my neighborhood with the leaf blower. So I'm going to turn it over, and Javita, I know you said that you've used it a little bit and you've had some pretty good results. How would you like to share what you posted there while I go and close the window?
Sure. Actually, I started posting on Pinterest very recently, and I got very good results. It increases my traffic to my websites, and I have all kinds of boards. Like I'm a Reiki master teacher, so I have board about Reiki, then animal Reiki, crystals, yoga, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm getting really good results. What about you, Fred?
I do belong to Pinterest, and I do get photographs that I like. There's an area of photographs, and I see some of the photographs. And I've heard, and I don't know a lot about it, but I know a fella in Wales, in the United Kingdom, who is marketing his, he does training in a certain area that he's got skills in. Really, it's got to do with managing signs, sign management, but it's a little niche market, and he's very well qualified, and he is got courses on how to do this, facilitate managing signs in buildings and so on, which,
Wow.
believe it or not, can be very challenging and very expensive if you're talking about big organizations, big buildings, hospitals, for example. How do you manage all the signage? And he runs courses, and he sells them through Pinterest, and he is very excited about the results he's getting through Pinterest, and has got a lot of skills in that. So there's an example of marketing through Pinterest, which I was not aware of, because I just use it to look for different niches, particularly some photographs that I like. And it's always reminding me automatically, oh, there's some new post, or maybe you'd be interested in these photographs. That's the only time I use it, but I do know that it can be a very powerful marketing tool, just from the experience that this man, he sings its praises, and his results apparently are the best he's ever got from any method he's used, is having posts on Pinterest about his product.
Well, so David, got your finger?
Yes, Mark, as a comment, interesting numbers on Pinterest. I had no idea the demographics was only 60% female.
Yeah. Well, that's what I read. So, but here's
That I've also had that kind of information when I've done research or heard videos about it. It's more women than men.
yeah. Well, and of course we one thing that I notice is it's very popular with recipe and cooking and all of those things. But so I was going to share a couple of other things that I found in my research. One of the people that go to Pinterest are looking for inspiration. And the second thing they said was that people that go to Pinterest are often looking for ideas on products that they think they might like to buy. So those were two things that were mentioned as the reason that people go to Pinterest. The other thing that never occurred to me was that it functions like a search. It's sort of like Google search. So you can go in there and you can do a search on almost anything that you want to know about. And there's a piece that never occurred to me. I never spent enough time there to determine that. And the other thing that I learned was, the idea is that when people find you, that they click through to your website. And so that I thought was one of the main values for a lot of us that have our own website, is as a way to increase the traffic to our website. So that's kind of a key advantage from our perspective. The other thing that, as I was looking at all of this, I thought a lot of us are looking at single niche websites. And most of those single niche websites are visual, tangible products. And it seemed to me that there must be a potential there for those of us that have those single niche websites, and posting more things over there so that you get more traffic back to your single niche website. So I thought I might create a board over there on ladies walking sticks, because that was my little single niche site that I created. So I think I might play with that a little bit and see what happens. The other thing that it was, because it is functions like a search. One video that I watched suggested that you pay very close attention to the keywords, like your descriptors. When you put a description in, is to make certain that your descriptions are keyword rich. So for things that people might be searching for. So those were a few things that I picked up just from not very much research, but the main message that I stumbled on seemed to be very consistent with other platforms, and that is consistency. That the algorithms that Pinterest has seems to notice the amount of the number of posts that you do and the frequency that you do it, and the more you do that, the more your material is going to be shown to those people who are following you. So that is consistent in almost all of the platforms that we look at and we think about. Yeah, David.
Going back, we talked about infographics in the green room a little bit. Do you know if they allow you to do the embed of the information on the infographics?
I don't know that, but I do know that if you find something out on the internet that you would like to share to a board, it sounded as though there may be a way to be able to from a browser to be able to share things over to automatically to Pinterest. So I don't know whether that would end up as an embed or not. So it's going to require some further research.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the value of infographics, we talked about that a little bit, didn't we, David?
Yes, we did. And my as Jay says, my marketing wheels are turning, and I've come up with what I would like to do for infographics and be able to put them on Pinterest. So it would be a plus to be able to embed that as for other people that do the reviews, they could do the same thing. Use my infographic, and it becomes more popular. So that's a good question. I'll have to do some research to find that out. Also, Mark has a question for us. Question: how do you join public or shared Pinterest boards?
So when you go to the home, this is what this is not an expert. That just is somebody that's in there, kind of looking around. But when you go into Pinterest, if you go to the home button, you'll see all kinds of things. And up in the corner, there's a little red button of each one of those that says share. So that's the way you're able to do that, as far as I can see. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there was quite a bit of discussion in some of the things that I watched about infographics. Some people said that infographics were not a good idea if your main purpose is to send people back to your website, because all of the information is in the infographic. Why would they need to go to your website? And of course, David's response to that was, for more detail. However, one chap said that, again, when you're looking at the algorithms that Pinterest uses, the more traffic you get, and apparently infographics really, they get a lot of traffic. So when you get a lot of traffic, then that boosts your presence there. And so it was thought that infographics were a good idea. So that's I guess that's open to interpretation, and I guess you would probably want to experiment with it.
Yeah, and you'd want to make your infographics so that they keep them wanting, so that they want more information.
Yeah.
Give them some information, but they're going to want more information, so that, and then refer them to your website.
Yeah. So the other thing that I found out that was not there when I first encountered Pinterest is that now you can apply for a business account, and there's even a way to turn a personal one into a business one. And I suppose they did that because there would be people like me on there that only just created it as a personal account, because you had to use your own name and you had to use a picture. And this is another one of those platforms that they recommend that you put your picture on there. But if you switch over to a business account, apparently you don't need to use a picture, you can use a logo instead. So there was a piece that I wasn't aware of. I hadn't been there, and I have no idea when they brought that in, but that wasn't available, I know, when I first went there. So there's it looks as though there are some things worthy of exploring. And I might say that when people are looking for inspiration and looking for photographs and looking for, I know my walking partner Robin is a Girl Guide coach or a Girl Guide leader. She goes in there looking for inspiration on little projects that she could take to her Girl Guide troop. So she says that she finds all kinds of stuff in there. So I guess it part of it may depend on what our niche is, whether it really works for us. And whether whether you think that because you have to have an image on everything that you do. So whether you want to play around with images, that relates to your niche, of course. Now, I would like to try something, David. I'm going to try putting the comments, the YouTube comments, up in the screen here. I don't know whether you folks will see it, but I would like to try this just to see how it works. So pardon me, folks, and let me see if I can do it. So yeah, we can see that there's some comments in there that so Mark Barris, that's not showing up. That's interesting. Pardon me, everybody, because there is, there. Aha. Mark Barris says interesting numbers. I had no idea the demographics. So I see a lot of boards that have multiple comments. And Paul is saying, have a boo. Oh, it says message retracted. So that's, this is an experiment to see whether, bringing the comments into the video will work. And last week, David shared his screen, and that was, I'm getting a feedback now. I wonder why that is. So we'll see how that works. Whether it was going to work or not. So
it did work. I was watching it. It did appear on the video.
I did appear on a video, and I was watching it too. It does not appear on our screen.
No.
So the panel members can't see it.
And that's the part that the difference between last week when I asked David to share his screen inside of Zoom. He was able to bring those comments in, and we could, as panel members, we would get to see what is there. So doing it this way excludes the panel members, and unless they're watching on somewhere else. So that doesn't feel comfortable for me. I guess it's, my most important group are my panel members here. So
well, we can discuss that later and see which way we like the best.
Yeah.
And if I need to doctor up my screen and make it look better, I can do that too.
Right.
I did like how it was presented, though. It did have a nice look to it when it was on the video.
But it wasn't, what I was noticing is that it wasn't showing the last 2 or 3 comments. So that's going to take a little bit of experimentation. And sorry that Bill is not with us this morning. He's my guru when it comes to OBS. And he's busy with a medical appointment for his wife today. So, yeah.
Paul has put a link in the chat for
Social Media Examiner. Yeah, yeah. So we'll have to go and look at that. Paul is one of these people who is a wealth of information on a lot of different things. So let's go back and I'm maybe we've kind of covered all we need to when it comes to Pinterest, but I just wanted to see whether anybody else, like David, do you see any value in there? Or do you think it would be worth going? And
I'm starting to see some value where, like I said, I've been interested in getting into the infographics, and I've just finally put something together. Like I said, the light come on, and to make for my air fryer reviews and to get more people to look at them. I can go ahead and try to put the infographic, put a picture of the air fryer I'm reviewing and say there's a post there. Then also post the infographic that gives them the basic information on the review, and then for more information to go back to the review and
for the detail,
get all the detail they want if they're interested in that product. So.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there are all kinds of recipes and so forth that you could, if you created a board and shared those. I know that I use a hot pot, and when I was in there this morning, I saw all kinds of recipes for hot pots. Yeah.
That's why I'm not so excited about getting into the recipe game, is that there's so many people that do that the market seems to be saturated to me. So I'm trying to actually review the product and give you tips on how to use the product and so forth and so on, and leave the other people do the recipes, because recipes take time. Well, it's no different than a post, I guess. It's
well,
I do have my air fryer, so I can try them out and see what they do, because there are certain tricks that I want to try out. That it's like battered fish, fresh battered fish, instead of it being
deep fried.
The frozen ones that come with the batter already on them. So if you just use the liquid batter to batter your fish, you put it in the air fryer, it just drips through to the bottom pan, and it doesn't work very well. Well, I've come through an idea of you freeze that with the batter on it, then you put it in the air fryer, and by the time it thaws, it's already cooking, so it doesn't drip through.
Oh, so that's an example of a technique, yeah.
Right, and
right
so
on.
I'm going to use show that technique. You can do that with mushrooms. You could do that with, pickles, all sorts of different fried, items that use a batter.
Fried pickles?
Haven't you heard of fried pickles?
Never.
I was just watching Good Eats. I don't know if you know the show. It's a cooking show, and they were showing you how to fry pickles.
Oh, for heaven's sake! Well, I've heard everything now.
Yep.
Well, so now, given the context of what you're doing, here's what I noticed about some of these recipes that I looked at. So there was kind of a post there, and when you clicked on the post, it took you to a small video with. Okay. So if you were trying to market your videos on YouTube, that would be a way to do that.
Yeah. And that would be something. And what I have to do is I have to get my kitchen studio fixed. I have a doorway that I'm closing, and then I'm going to put a counter and some cupboards up there and make it look really nice, and be able to um, put my different items there. I've got an Instant Pot pressure cooker that I use, and I use that quite often. I have the air fryer I use,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be able to set it up so I can get the lighting correct,
Mm-hmm.
with the underneath the lighting for underneath the cupboard, and also behind me, so that I have
Mm-hmm.
good lighting and in
Mm-hmm.
front of me, um, and so it looks reasonable, and be able to do these videos. I was also told that I should do videos like some fun videos, like should you cook a shoe in an air fryer
Why would you
or a
want to?
pressure cooker?
Why would you want to cook a shoe?
Who knows? It's just something fun. It's kind of, you know, Nick, right? That used to hang with us on Friday night.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things he would do.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so that, I
Yeah.
mean, then you would go into something serious on, how about uh, liquid battered fish? How
Mm-hmm.
would you do them, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah. Could play
Um,
with it.
Play with it, and
Yeah.
give some good information, but also have some fun with it.
Mm.
Not, pull a shoe out and say, I don't think this is a good idea, and throw it away, and so,
Oh, that sounds
and
like.
get my granddaughters involved with this, and
Oh, that
so,
would be fun too. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
have fun with it.
Right.
So,
So you've got some ideas there. So what,
yeah.
Fred? What about you? I mean, can you think of any way that you would use Pinterest other than as a source of pictures?
Well, again, I come back to the fella in Wales
Mm.
he's got a PhD in all sorts of things, but he developed all these online courses about sign management, which is such a small niche market. And who would have thought?
Mm.
I don't know how he tried to market previously, but he got so excited and so enthusiastic on the results he was getting from Pinterest.
Mm.
And he was saying, hey, if you ever want to market on Pinterest, I'd be happy to, share it with you. Now, I didn't know if he wanted some money for that or not. I wasn't, we never got to that detail.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fascinating, the fact that he was so enthusiastic about the results he was getting, and a very unique, I would never have dreamt that Pinterest, for his online courses that he developed, and not getting many results until he started using Pinterest. So
Okay. So where did you find them? How did you find them?
I was talking, it's a sort of a long story, but I have a friend who's developed some software on sign management, and he has all this website on sign management. So we reached out to him and said, are you
I see.
interested in this? And he said, oh, no, but let me tell you, I've spent all this time developing these courses, and this is really what I want to do, not the things that you're talking about. But if you're ever interested, let me tell you, I'm getting great results from Pinterest. And
I see.
sort of, his excitement and his enthusiasm was very obvious that this Pinterest had made a big impact on his business that he had been working on for a long time. And this was only recently that he discovered and found Pinterest. So there is something here. This is a great topic because most people ignore it. We're always talking about Facebook and all these other
Instagram,
areas,
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
but not Pinterest. And yet, I mean, and such an unusual market. I mean, we think about recipes and clothing and all the other areas that Pinterest is about, but not marketing like he, in a niche market that he has. So it's interesting, and I think it's a great topic because people aren't aware of this, and I find it very fascinating. It's good for you for bringing up Pinterest because it is.
Well,
Who
we've
would
all.
have thought? And yet, for solopreneurs, as he was a solopreneur as well, this is an area that should investigate. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like anything, you have to put the effort and time and be regular. You can't just post one or two things and expect. You have to be regular and consistent.
Yeah.
But if you are, it may be an area that you can get results like he has. So it's a great topic.
Well, I'll tell you another way that I used Pinterest. I was going to trying out a new hairdresser. This is a couple of years ago now, but at the time she said, "Well, if you want a different hairstyle, go find a picture and bring the picture to me. So I went looking because I did have some sense of what I wanted, and I ended up on Pinterest. And there were all kinds of sites on there for good haircuts for women with gray or white hair. I couldn't believe it. And so I went through all of this and I found what I wanted. And when I went to the hairdresser, I discovered that this particular beauty salon that I went to, they don't have a website other than something in behind, and they had a Pinterest site where you could go and look and see all the things that they were doing. So, I mean, again, all of this depends on the niche you're in, for sure. But and I've gone in there and looked at like these are female things, of course, but what's the latest style for someone, an older woman, for example. Because a lot of other places you go and you look at things, you see things for another age group or whatever. So I mean, it's I mean, it's endless of the things that you can find on there. But I think you're right, Fred. I think we all need to go in there and scout around and try and as David was saying, think of creative ways to make use of it. Yeah. So Javita, I'm sorry I didn't hear I didn't hear what you said about your use of it now, but where do you see yourself going in the future with that?
I think Pinterest will be a great source of traffic because most of the time the traffic is very targeted. When I post a pin, so that only that people will be click on the link who are interested in that niche. So I think that will be a very targeted traffic that we can get from Pinterest.
Good point. So it's that. Well, and if it's going to be targeted, that points up to the real need to use the right keywords. Yeah. Wow.
But I have heard that Pinterest is not very specific about using keyword. Actually, I have seen many people doing just keyword stuffing for the heading and all that.
Yeah. Well, that happens everywhere. Yeah. But
Means they are not very strict about it.
oh, well,
can
maybe.
do-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at least one thing I did find out from somebody, one person who was talking about it, they said you need to put a pin up daily, and in some cases more than once daily. So
And
that
I've
sounds a little bit like Twitter, doesn't it? I mean, if you want to have any presence on Twitter, you gotta be posting all the time.
But you can pin your one pin you can post in many different boards or subboards. You can create subboards also in Pinterest, and you can create one pin and you can post it in subboards also.
Oh, so you can have the same pin in various
Yeah.
places.
Means you can create as many pins as you want, but if you have a short of time, so you can create one pin for your post, and you can post it on different subboards also.
Okay. And somebody else talked about, it sounded like there's something called Tailwind.
Yeah, Tailwind.
And I'm guessing that that's a little bit like Hootsuite or any of those other platforms that post things. You can put the things in there and then they post them periodically. Yeah. There is Shy Guy Productions. Morning all, checking in from my truck in the parking lot. Hey, Bill. So, if we have nothing more to add, I don't have anything more to add about Pinterest unless there are questions, more questions. I'm thinking maybe we'll close for now, and I'll challenge everybody to go and play with Pinterest and see what you can do, how you can increase the traffic to your own website by playing around in Pinterest. That would seems to me to be the biggest advantage. Yeah.
Well, I have to work some time in to get that done.
You're not alone there.
Yeah,
David.
It's always a problem.
So, well,
But I see the benefits of it, so that it'd be worth investing the time.
Yeah, if I may say, that if you Google marketing techniques on Pinterest, you'll find some very interesting articles like 25 do's and don'ts for your Pinterest marketing, or 5 Pinterest strategies that drive big traffic. There's a lot of articles, so there is information about marketing on Pinterest, which, if you want to investigate, that might be a good place to start.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that link that Paul added to the comments, I'm guessing that will be about Pinterest as well. So even though it's Social Media Examiner, right?
I have it up. How to improve your Pinterest research, 4 tips. That's the name of the article.
Okay. Thank you for that, Paul. All right. So if there's nothing more to add, I'm going to do the end piece here.